Hello there. New Biden water heater ban. Well, not exactly a ban, but essentially creating new efficiency standards that basically ban the use of less efficient models, specifically of the gas variety, forcing everyone to buy the more expensive electric ones. This is going to be bad for the poor and for seniors, the experts say. This is from Fox News, but, well, Fox Business anyway. But I don't think that is the full measure of what's going on here. Let's dive a little deeper. So first of all, the basics. The Biden administration is banning certain natural gas water heaters from the market as part of its climate change agenda, which we all know, of course, is perfectly true. There's no criticism one can make whatsoever about climate change, science, or experts at all, if one is on YouTube. Anyway, this is a move critics say will jack up energy costs for low-income and senior households. The move in the final days of the administration will take non-condensing natural gas-fired water heaters off the shelves by 2029, in a bid to reduce carbon dioxide emissions, which climate change advocates and President Biden say causes global warming. The new rules will require new tankless gas water heaters to use about 13% less energy than today's least efficient tankless models. So, there have been people obviously criticizing this because it will hike up prices, and there have been people who claim that this is going to destroy production. We're talking here about, here it is, Matthew Aghan, the American Gas Association's chief counsel for energy, blasted the move, labeling it deeply concerning and irresponsible. Quote, the final rule is a violation of the Energy Policy and Conservation Act, EPCA, which prohibits the Department of Energy from promulgating a standard that renders a product with distinct performance characteristics unavailable, Aghan said in a statement before the rules were officially published. To make matters worse, Aghan said that the DOE's own analysis claims the average life cycle cost savings would amount to barely $112 over the entire 20-year average product life. So it's not about cost saving, it's about climate change. He said the rule is unjustifiable on legal and practical grounds. Forcing low-income and senior consumers to pay far more upfront is particularly concerning. The Department of Energy's decision to go ahead with a flawed final rule is deeply disappointing. Now, Rinnai recently constructed a $70 million, 360,000 square foot factory in Georgia to manufacture non-condensing gas water heaters for the American market, according to the Washington Free Beacon. Frank Windsor, president of Rinnai America, told the outlet the move is a bad deal. He said the company undertook the construction in 2020 after President Trump's efforts to boost American manufacturing, and it employs hundreds. When the rule goes into effect, all that manufacturing will basically be irrelevant, Windsor told the outlet. A lot of the major equipment... what was this? Right. A lot of the major equipment that we have invested in will basically have to be scrapped. However, the move was welcomed by the non-profit Appliance Standards Awareness Project. I wonder who gives the money. Saying it will eliminate 32 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions from water heaters sold over 30 years. That's great. So the group supports reducing energy and water usage in appliances. So essentially just stay cold and don't wash. It's okay. It's better for you and the environment, honestly. So, this is from Heritage, the Heritage Foundation. President Joe Biden's proposed energy efficiency standards for water heaters would take certain products off the market. The change would leave consumers with fewer, more expensive options. American families and businesses should set standards for appliance efficiency through their purchasing decisions. Essentially, they say let the market decide, which means let people decide for themselves what they want to buy. You can explain to them, you can try and educate them, but you can't make decisions for them. The government shouldn't be coming in and telling people, yeah, you want to buy this product, but we decided it's bad for the world or something, so now you're not allowed. Well, this is certainly a view. It says here that one popular tankless natural gas water heater made by Rinnai in Griffin, Georgia would have to be discontinued. The public has until September 26 to file comments. Beginning in 2029, the Energy Department's proposed regulation would set government standards for all types of water heaters, including gas-fired, oil-fried, electric and instantaneous tankless water heaters. The proposed rule would raise standards disproportionately for tankless gas-fired water heaters to over 91% efficiency. Trouble is, achieving this level of efficiency with non-condensing technology is impossible to do, so essentially just banning it in a roundabout manner. It says here that Rinnai, whose products are used all over the world, is headquartered in Nagoya, Japan. It set up production in Georgia in 2001 and directly employs around 350 in a factory there, benefiting local restaurants and small businesses. Rinnai is the only company that produces tankless water heaters in the United States. Its non-condensing natural gas water heater sells for about $1,100 at Home Depot, compared to $1,800 for a 75-gallon tank. The Energy Department's proposed efficiency standards essentially would ban non-condensing gas-fired tankless water heaters because the technology of heating water with gas reaches its efficiency limit without using more expensive condensing technology. So this is going to be a change not just based on efficiency, because we've already seen that it's negligible in terms of lifetime efficiency. It's going to be based on the idea of making everything electric and making everything carbon neutral as possible. This reminds me of the gas stove bans, if you remember. This is from the Washington Post. It's an old article from 2023. How the humble gas stove became the latest flashpoint in the culture wars. Regulators have no plans to ban gas stoves. That's what they said after the backlash. But Republicans are slamming the Consumer Product Safety Commission for announcing it will examine the health impacts of the appliances. Essentially, they were making noises about banning gas stoves, replacing everything with electric, and there was an outpouring of what was called at the time gas stove nationalism. People essentially saying we want to maintain the ability to buy gas stoves. They offer us more independence than the electric ones because the gas is stored in your building and someone would have to come and take it away in order for you to not be able to use it. Whereas with electric, you just shut it down like everything else. Not to mention that it has different properties when used. I've had a bit of experience with both, and certainly there are differences and upsides and downsides for both. So this entire thing, in my opinion, relates back to control, deciding what you're allowed to buy, and also deciding when you can use it. So this is old posts on Twitter that basically highlight the idea that electric appliances, especially smart ones, can be remote controlled and somebody else decides whether you are allowed to use them or not. So it says here, smart meters, of course they want to be controlled remotely by energy providers. That's just a conspiracy theory, they said. Exhibit 1, this is Queensland, Australia, and thousands of citizens have had their air conditioning turned off remotely by their energy providers. It was a huge heat wave, and essentially the company said, well, we have too much strain on the electric grid. Guess we have to shut down the air conditioning for all of you. So aircon, 8,000 old homes sweat as cooling cut off. Acting Premier Jared Blagey said it's unacceptable that thousands of sweltering Queenslanders had the cooling function on their air conditioners turned off remotely. And this is another one from the same account. Germany. German energy grid operators are given legal power to restrict power to heat pumps. That's the heaters, the electric heaters that are supposed to replace the gas ones instantly. These are exactly that type. Restrict power to heat pumps and EV chargers from 2024 to preserve energy. At this point, net zero is beyond the joke. Stuck in cold houses with no transport, this is a vision of your future. And it's a post of an old title. EV chargers, heat pumps may be curtailed in Germany as of 2024. If you remember, we've had similar things happen in California, where basically they told everyone we're banning the sale of, gas-powered vehicles. From a certain point, everybody will just have to buy electric until everybody just drives electric. And then it was roughly at the same time that they had major shortages in terms of electricity and told people to stop charging their electric vehicles. So it's complete clown world, and it also showcases the importance of being independent. If the grid falls, you want to have some way to heat water, to heat food, to cook, and you want to not be at the mercy of the centralized government and corporations. That's my take on it. I don't want them to be able to decide whether or not I can cool my home in a heat wave or heat it in a, flash freeze, like very low temperatures. I don't want them to be able to decide to just cut me off from essentially being able to cook or heat my house at all. If anybody remembers the hurricane response the government had, but basically, especially in rural red areas, places that voted for Trump traditionally, they were very inefficient with their response and essentially based it off DEI measures. Depending on how oppressed you are, you'd be further ahead in the queue to receive government aid. Literally, it was in their own manual. I don't think I want to be dependent on the government. And I wonder if that government ever becomes even more vindictive. Could they punish dissenters by turning off their appliances? Could corporations do so if I said something naughty on social media? It's just the possible abuses of a system where everything is electric and smart and centralized are endless. There's also, of course, the idea of consumer choice, the market deciding for itself, not allowing the experts to rule every little tiny facet of our lives and make every decision for us. Instead, essentially using them as advisors, allowing us, the people, to individually choose whether to trust in them or which one of them to trust, because there are experts that say the complete opposite of the government and corporation curtailed experts. These people are no less educated, they're no less accomplished, and sometimes more, but they're not in favor with the rich and powerful, and you might decide that you like their opinions better. And it's perfectly fine, it doesn't make you stupid, ignorant, or evil, but it does make you a dissident to the government, a dissident to the marriage of corporations and the state, if you remember where that's from. And so you might be punished in the future if you are complacent right now and allow them to turn everything into electric. I think the amount of money poured into green energy, which of course does not count nuclear energy, because somehow that's evil and bad, is astronomical. And I think we've seen very little benefit from it so far. Improving efficiency in using the old gas-powered methods, I think that's a worthy and useful goal. And trying to create good nuclear solutions, I think that's the future. I heard that there have been major improvements in safety and efficiency in terms of nuclear energy in recent years, decades, and the new models right now may well offer very good solutions. Not to mention, there are solutions based on reusing old leftovers of the process of creating nuclear energy, essentially draining them of energy, which will allow them to break down at a much faster rate, so it's better for the environment. And we have enough of these to, as far as I understood, run the US for 100 years. So I really believe that these options are much better and should be explored. But if you actually saw any sort of documentaries on this subject and such, you would know that the people in power are very heavily invested. I'm talking about politicians, Democrats and the Rhino Republicans, very heavily invested in green energy, in solar and wind and that sort of thing. And if all of that stopped being a government priority, the entire thing would die. It has a zero validity on its own. It has zero merit as it is right now. It's all about promises for the future. It's not reliable, it's not efficient, and it's not going to be competitive anytime soon. So I think that is why we will not see a turn to nuclear, because it's going to be green, it's going to be efficient, and it's going to outcompete all of the stuff that the rich and powerful are invested in and have been for over a decade now, I believe. And because the loss they would suffer is unacceptable, they will, prioritize their own selfish goals over what is actually, how to put it, good and efficient for the cause they claim to champion. That's my personal take. They're hypocrites, in short. Now, do you think the future is going to be you deciding whether to use this technology or not. From what we can see in places like California, I doubt it. If you read a bit about the plans to reconstruct Ukraine after the war, essentially BlackRock has been given most of the decision-making power, and they're supposed to be funding and financing it as well. And it's supposed to be a digital nation where everything's electric, everything is smart, everything is sustainable. That's the word they like to use, which means just no gas-powered stuff. And I can't help but feel as though it's going to be a dystopian hellhole where you have zero privacy, zero agency, and it is decided for you what you can and can't do, buy, where to go, and you're also completely policed every second of the day. Every word you say is, tracked and followed and dissected. And I think that this is going to be the blueprint for how they want humans to live going forward. It's something that you might have, inferred from everything I've been saying in videos and up until now, but honestly, I feel as though this is not the final goal that they have, but a very big part of it, like a major stepping stone to it. And I just don't want to live like that at all. I mean, this is something that I'd consider a hill to die on. The idea that Biden can just, with a stroke of a pen, ban an entire class of appliances and force everyone to go electric does not sit well with me. I believe Trump is going to reverse such changes once he goes into office. At least I hope so. And let's be honest, the saving of $100 over 20 years? Yeah, unless you are a true believer in, let's say, leftist doctrine, because I can't criticize some things on YouTube. Unless you are one of those, then you should have zero reason to support this move. And if you are one of those, I would suggest that you actually have a discussion. It's not necessarily a confrontation or even a debate, just listen to what the other side has to say on a platform that does allow people to express why they dissent. Because I've seen quite a bit of evidence on both sides, and I have made up my mind. Unfortunately, I literally can't articulate my conclusions right here. Thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.